Hi weaving friends, this is going to be a really short and very simple video. This is one of those instances where I'm just tired of being asked the same question over and over, and so I'm just going to make the video and I'm going to refer people to the video on how to do something. This video is brought to you by the ripple scarf, which you'll see me working on in this video. This is a rigid heddle project using 2 heddles, a heddle rod and a pickup stick. We use beautiful luxurious yarns to make a really unique and luxury scarf. You can find the pattern for this in my Etsy shop and I will link it down below. Now on with the video. So this particular video is just going to show you how I clear a shed. Now this is really useful for usually if you're using more than one heddle. Sometimes if you're using one heddle but you've got a really sticky yarn and the threads are basically sticking to each other when you try and open up a shed. These ones are pretty good really, but some of them do stick because what I've got here is 2 heddles set up plus a heddle rod plus a pickup stick. So things can get a little bit hairy in that kind of situation. Very easy to fix. So let's go into one of my problem sheds. I'll say the front heddle up and the pickup stick forward. This is a really small shed and it's also in a couple of layers, and that is, it can be difficult to see where you're actually meant to be putting your shuttle. So what can happen when you're weaving in a shed like this is because the shed's so small, you can be going through and you can actually inadvertently go over some of the threads that you are meant to be going under. And then what happens is you get floats in your work. And often you don't see them until you finish. They might be underneath the work. And even if you do see them, a lot of people are just like so frustrated they don't know how to fix it. So if this is happening to you, if your pattern is not weaving correctly or it's weaving correctly in some sections and in other sections you're getting like longer floats. And what I mean by a float is, let's just do one here. It's where like a section of your warp is covered where it's not meant to be. So here obviously I've gone over warp threads that I wasn't supposed to. But that can happen without you realizing it. Now, if you've already checked that your threading is all correct, that's something that you really need to check first. And also, if you're using more than one heddle, check between your heddles here that you don't have crossed threads. If you have threads that are crossed at the back beam, well, it's a little bit messy, but usually it's not a huge deal. It's not going to impact on your pattern usually. But if you have crossed threads between your heddles, that is going to impact on your pattern every single time. So make sure by double checking in between your heddles that everything's clear and good in there and in proper order. If you've checked your threading and you're certain that everything is fine, then you need to try this clearing the shed trick. Now what you need for this is either an extra pickup stick or an extra stick shuttle, even a ruler would do the trick. You know, anything that's like a paint stirring stick, you know, you get the idea. It's just a flat wooden stick, something that's not sticky. It can be plastic, whatever you've got. Use what you've got. And you're just going to find the correct shed. So make sure that you're going into the correct shed. The way that I can do that is by knowing where my threads should be at any given time. So I know that my whole threads should be up because my heddle 1 is up and my whole threads are threaded on heddle 1. And then I know that all of the threads associated with my pickup stick should also be up, creating the shed or the space to go through. So these threads right here, they're my pickup stick threads. I need to go underneath them and in between those and the rest of the threads that are down. So I'm going to insert into my shed. I'm doing it close to the heddle up here so that that's the widest space for the shed at the moment, so I can be sure that I'm not getting any errors. I don't want to be putting my pickup stick in to clear it and then finding that I'm actually traveling over threads accidentally anyway. And then once I've got the stick in there, all I need to do is just kind of bash it down, not really hard or anything. Take it out, and then that has cleared a path for me. This works really well if you're using something like mohair. Even sometimes wools can be really sticky. If you're using a fluffy cotton, they can be a bit of a headache. Okay, so let's just change some sheds around here. for another look. And this is another shed, so this time let's use the extra stick shuttle. I'm going to be carefully inserting that into the space, knowing that these are the correct threads that are up at the moment, through that space close to the heddle because it's the widest space, and just boom. Take it out, and then I'm ready to weave through that space, and I have a nice clear space to get through. I'm not catching on any threads, nothing's sort of hanging down or up where it shouldn't be. And friends, that is it. It's as simple as that. This can make a world of difference to the problems that you're having with your weaving. Give it a try, let me know what you think. And until next time, happy weaving.